The Fantastic Four: First Steps, 2025. I was going to see something else today as yet more Marvel superhero stuff or any superhero stuff is not majorly appealing to me. I'm not really. I've seen a film recently in the last couple of weeks. I didn't really want to see another film. Um, but I have seen a few of the Fantastic Four films over the years. Certainly, looking back on the list of recent films that relate to it, Rise of the Silver Surfer, 2007, The Fantastic Four, 2015, and then Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, 2022, and Deadpool and Wolverine, 2024. It's still not helping me in terms of being significantly clued up on the characters. I mean, I suppose I've just seen so many other things that have interested me a lot more that all of it has drifted to the back of my head or vanished. But so even though the interest as a whole wasn't there, I did get to like this. There was something a bit different that piqued my interest. So we're introduced to the four of them. The some from there's this television show, and there's even a big sign with number four on it. And I was thinking Channel Four, except this is New York. So, uh, well, it's Fantastic Four's own show, and trouble is their alert goes off, and while they're waiting backstage, they all dash off before the presenter opens the door. Gives them their big reveal. They've gone. Um, so the characters are Invisible Woman, Mr. Fantastic, and they're a married couple, and it's all heteronormative stuff. And I didn't know what era this was. I was meaning to check up. I was thinking no mobile phones. It seems there was a caption at the start that seemed to suggest this was the ninth century Earth, but was it really 1,197 years ago, as the date seemed to be, or did I miss something? I'm not really sure. It felt like the 50s or 60s or maybe the 70s, but certainly um, technology. I mean, there were computers, so maybe it was more recent. And I didn't, after a while pondering, I just gave up and thought, well, go with the flow, whenever it was. Um, Actually, one of the things is um, Sue Storm, or Invisible Woman. Um, she is in the bathroom having a pee test to find out she's pregnant. And I guess that dates it because it's whenever um, urinating on the stick to show that you're pregnant, whenever that came out. I suppose that dates it. But anyway, she is pregnant, and um, they go off to space, and they've been off to space before. And the backstory is that they got genetically uh, altered. They qualified. They got their uh, superhuman attributes when they were out in space, but they go out to space again, even with Sue being pregnant. And I don't suppose that'd be allowed in real life. I mean, maybe it will in some time in the future, but I don't think it would in the past. Um, because of all the complications, and of course, there are complications on this, trip, and it gets a bit risky. I mean, it's quite funny, actually love the scenes where, she's multitasking, being in labour and still being involved in all the process of what's happening. I won't say exactly what's happening at that time. Well, there's battles with space aliens or something. Can't exactly remember what, but it was a bit more than navigation, and they run out of fuel wherever they are. I mean, was it near Jupiter? Was it somewhere further? Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of detail that I just couldn't pick up. I mean, I get a bit bamboozled by it all. Um, and being as it is in the cinema, you just have to go with it. Blink and you miss it. And um, I do remember, well, they come back, they went into space uh, as Fantastic Four. In a way, they come back as a potential Fantastic Five, or at least they're not sure if their little kid has superhuman properties or not. But um, that is discussed a bit. Um, and there's some humor at the end of the film. Oh, the sort of stuff about the books. There's something about Darwin. Oh yeah. The Origin of Species or the Hungry Caterpillar. It's one of the books that appears as one of the things. It's actually in a 4 years later sort of excerpt. There's a few things at the end that are worth staying for. Um, because people just walk out the cinema as soon as the credits start to roll, and a lot of people did stay back and it was worthwhile because there's things still to come. Um, and there's a lot of humour in this film, and the audience laughed a lot more than I did. There were some bits that went over me. I thought, okay, I think I've got that. Um, but it's kind of geeky, dorky, quirky sort of humor. Um, there's a lot about quotes that I think self-referential to do with like the previous films or the cartoons. I mean, uh, one of them says, "Won't say the date or won't say certain things." What's it? Clobber time, stuff like that. I don't know. I notice things now that I probably didn't in the earlier films. I don't know what happened in the earlier films. I probably had my eyes closed. But in this, I actually did concentrate quite a lot, and I actually liked it. And the element about the Invisible Woman giving birth, there was quite a lot of moving stuff, and I can't remember, but there was one scene near the end where I was almost in tears. I was thinking, "Wow, gosh, this really just got to me." And I'm trying to think what it is now. What was it that actually got me thinking, "Oh wow, I'm nearly about to cry." And um, there's, I mean, the middle bit is all about the fight that happens, and it is like they're about to go for lunch. They're on their Sunday evening meal, Sunday supper, and suddenly there's an alert. There's Silver Surfer, the character that I remember from 2007 a little bit, but uh, she comes to Earth. There seems to be meteors heading for the planet as well, but she heralds dangers to come. She heralds it's the end of humanity, and an enemy is about to take over and end humanity. And so um, these four, um, they're going to have to fight. And human beings, as they're grateful, but at one point it seems because, the first point, it seems like, there's negotiation or something, and the enemy wants something that the silver the, Fantastic Four are not prepared to, um, sacrifice, um, and then because of that, and because, when, they have a press conference and, journalists ask the Fantastic Four, "Can you keep us safe?" And Mr. Fantastic says, "I don't know," and he's been honest. The court public opinion turn against them, and it is like, oh wow, it's a bit like real life today. Although in some ways it isn't, because I think they managed to galvanize the population with some solutions. And I think in real life, going on how things are in 2025, there'd be cognitive dissonance, there'd be groups always dissenting and um, campaigning, like anti-vaxxers and all the other sort of groups, the hate groups that just want to damage people. And there's always someone against everything. And humanity's busy fighting against each other. In this sort of film, it feels like humanity's collaborating right across the world. I mean, you get references to Paris and London and Japan, all over the world, China, um, and that's great. But when does that happen in? I don't know. I think in real life, you'd probably have Russia siding with the aliens, the enemy. Um, so um, the the Fantastic Four do some persuasion. And they have to get some teamwork to go to do this. They've got a huge learning curve ahead of them because of various differences, and they work together. But I don't know. There's a lot that happens in the middle, and I'm not going to say much about it. But in summary, superheroes tend to be better than politicians. So maybe that's what's different from real life, because we have we look to politicians and they're often a huge disappointment. I mean, maybe if we had superheroes running the show, we'd be fine. I don't know. Except, of course, when the court of public opinion goes against them, and then suddenly everything will fall apart. Um, but um, yeah, the change from public adulation, they're like pop stars. They're school kids and adults, they're all shouting out to them in New York, "Oh, can you do this? Can you lift a car?" Um, and the characters, the actors who play the characters, let's just say about them, there's Pedro Pascal, and I've heard a lot about him recently. He plays Reed Richards, or Mr. Fantastic, and he's a scientist, and he's super stretchy, that one of his super qualities, and he's really good looking. I didn't realize till the end who he was, but something about his mustache sometimes that really works. Even though I'm ace, I think he's like eye candy. I just think he's a good looking man. But then when I saw him at the end, when his title appeared at the end, uh, and I realised one reason I've heard from him recently is because he's been outspoken as a trans ally, and so he's said a lot, and that is awesome. So before I knew who he was, um, I liked him, and I guess I've seen him in quite a few other films, over the years, but I didn't really realise. Um, so there's, who's it? There's Sue. Who plays Sue? Oh gosh, I've lost that. Um, mm, Lost the names. There's Joseph Quinn plays Johnny Storm. The Human Torch. There's Ibn Mas Bachrach as Ben Grimm or the Thing, and he's like a rock-faced. He's got. I thought it was tree-like, but actually it's rock formation. What he's turned into. The Silver Surfer character is played by Julia Garner, or Shayla Bai is another of her character names. She's sort of metallic. Uh, um, she's sort of an enemy character, one of the baddies, but she's sort of. I think she's traded in to work for the baddie because of saving her own planetary system. The arch baddie is called Galactus, played by Ralph Ineson, and he's a really giant character. I mean, his feet standing up fit in a street, and I was thinking, so on a scale, surely if he fits, he wouldn't be as tall as all the skyscrapers. But I get distracted by thinking, so what scale is he? Is he can't be 1,000 foot high. He can't be like the tallest buildings in New York. But then again, couldn't see the world, the new 1776 feet tower in New York. I think it would have been that rather than the twin towers of the World Trade Center that we had in the 20th century. I don't know. I start getting distracted by things like that and start wondering because I was trying to date when the film fitted. But I was thinking the skyscrapers are probably going to be too tall, and he's like knocking them over or crashing into them. I mean, there's a lot of battling, and some buildings get torn down, and there's even in the backstory some buildings get crashed into. I mean, some of this it's the stuff that I'm least interested in because it's monstrous stuff, and any of these large monsters, just I slightly tune out because the only thing that interests me is things like the scale. Um, but I just don't really like, I just don't find it that um, captivating, that sort of stuff. So the film as a whole, though, did really capture my attention. I did think it was really right. What was the name of the gosh? Oh, yeah. Going to just going to. Oh, yeah. Vanessa Kirby. She plays Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, um, and she's the pregnant character, and I kind of really liked her because of how what what sort of role she was playing, and that's actually what made the film worthwhile watching for me. I mean, um, there wasn't anything specifically outside the uh, cis and straight world as such, apart from what I know about, what I mentioned at the end, but there was nothing actually in the narrative of the film. So my mind gets preoccupied by the stuff. Like I thought that was interesting. Uh, I like more women characters, as a whole, it was a lot more men characters, only, a few women characters, so that reduces it. So when I tot up the score, I'm coming to a conclusion of about 7.75. So it's not bad. That's pretty good for a film. It's not like um, films under seven, which are where I don't really, I start losing interest altogether. So there was a lot in it that I liked. Some things, mm, um, you know, I'm either questioning the scale or, wondering about how it actually works and piecing together, where it fits in history. Is in the future, is it? I mean, there's the Future Foundation. Yeah, so there's a lot about this film, and I guess if there's a sequel, and I think, yeah, there is. It's said at the end that there's going to be another film. I think now I've paid much more attention to this film, I'll be in a better place for the next film because I remember this really well for me. So that's my thoughts. 7.75 as a score. I'd love to know what you think. Consider hitting like if you like this review. Um, Thanks if you subscribe, hit the notification button, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.